Hi, so today I'm going to install a Superspring and a Sumospring bump stock, and also a front Sumospring for the front end of my vehicle. I changed the one out on the passenger side already, and I didn't record it, but I figured I'd make a video on how to do it, because it's a little different than what I thought initially to put it in. Pretty straightforward, but there's a few little things that I noticed that made it easier when I went to do it. So I figured I'd make a quick video on it. And I went ahead and since I trashed my first jack, I used a 2.5 ton jack by accident, and I shouldn't have. So I went ahead and purchased an actual jack that can hold the weight. So I got a 12 ton bottle jack for the back, and then I got two 6 ton jack stands. So once I get it up, I slide the jack stands under and put the weight on those stands. And I'm using on my rear bumper versus underneath the vehicle, because it's just going to be a lot safer for me and a lot easier. And also I'm removing the rear tire. You can do it without removing the rear tire. It's very challenging, but if you feel safe sliding under there and with the tire and just a jack without a jack stand, go for it, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, this is a 2006 Pleasureway. It's a Dodge Sprinter, so basically it's not really a Dodge, it's a Mercedes Sprinter chassis with the Dodge name for the most part. So it weighs around 10,000 gross vehicle weight. So anyway, I have to first pull off the air shock. There was a factory air shock when they manufactured the vehicle to help with the load back then. That's the one side already I removed. I had to remove this side. So first I'm going to jack it up, and then you can kind of watch. And there won't be any audio while I'm doing this because I'm listening to music in the background, and I can't have that because YouTube will pull it out. So anyway, enjoy. Okay, so here's the Superspring. There is no front and back on this model. Other models are maybe. This one there is not when I went through the instructions. All you want to do first, obviously, is you want to take these off. And the instructions say you want to place it roughly in the center, which when I measured it out is right here. So this ready first. And I'll have to put a link, or I won't put a link. I'll probably have to tell you what the sizes are. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. I just remember I had wrenches for it. Yeah, I think it's 22. I know it's American. I quite honestly think it's silly using American sizes anymore. Most everything is metric. The vehicle's metric. And American bolts are just odd constantly. Uh, 19, I think. There you go. 19 millimeter. That, and I know I got a socket somewhere. That's an oddball size. That's a 17. Oh, that's 19. 19.5 inch. 3/8. There's other videos that talk about the parts and how to install. Watch other videos. This one is just specific to my vehicle. And instructions say you want all the bolts always facing all outside, so that's the way they're going to go. Also, sorry for the poor camera work. I'm the only one running it, and I kind of want to get this done today, and I'm not so much in it. What my thought wasn't to make a complete how-to video and review, just how to install it, in case somebody else has questions on. This is an RV. This is the Class B RV, Mercedes Dodge Sprinter van. So just trying to make it specific in case someone asks, because there are different bolt hole settings. The other side I went middle because when I went middle in one, there wasn't much pretension, but I'm going to have to drive it and see if middle is going to be too much pretension. And this is not fully loaded right now, so I may leave it, but I don't want the back too high the entire time, so I'll have to figure out how the ride is, and I may adjust it later. If I do, I'll just go down one, but I'm always going to start with two in the front because it's harder to get to, and then one in the rear because it's easy to get to. So that part is technically ready. Now, to get the hard part in. When people say it's challenging, it's challenging. So let's move this out of the way so I don't hurt myself. Now, to get the little spring in, it's supposed to be easy. With the tire in, I couldn't even imagine how to get this silly thing in, because don't forget, mine's different. I got a generator sitting right here. So that space that people crawl up inside, you can't fit it when you have a generator in the back of your vehicle that's factory mounted. So this longer piece with the deeper notch, got the shorter notch, deeper notch, this longer piece will go to the back. Why? Honestly, I have no clue. It would also fit in the front, but I'm going to put in the back like everybody says. And what I had to do last time is I had to use 2 pry bars. And I started to use a pair of needle nose. It didn't really help a lot, and I used some WD-40 to kind of try to get the front end slid in. So let's have at it. Probably warmer, it'd probably be better. Maybe the urethane would be more pliable. Although it's not cold, it's like 80 degrees today, which is abnormal for us. It just should only be 50 degrees today. So kind of taking advantage of the weather before it's gone. Because I live up north, not like everybody else that lives in California or down south. Alright, so first part isn't that bad. Oh look, there's a cable right here. I don't think that's a factory cable either. I'll figure that cable out after I do this, because there's nowhere else for it to go. This bracket went here, it fit fine. Alright, so let's stop complaining about that. Just get this in here. I'm going to clean that hole out a little bit. Yeah, I lose everything if I don't label it 5 seconds after I touch it. A little WD-40 up in there. When I say little, I mean little. I'm not going to put a lot in there. Alrighty. Ooh, this cable is going to be a move it out of my way. Remember to put it back, because I do not want to damage that. I think that goes to part of the tow system for the lights. Okay, now we go. Oh, that's much better. Alright, now. Let's try this again. Not so far up, maybe. That's what I want right there. literally get one side started and you got to keep rolling it in. It is not easy. Especially my right arm is all messed up, so I got a brace inside here that you can't see. I just want to make sure it's actually in. Yep. So I usually slide it just a little back, just to make sure I can see that it's moving and that it's in. Yep, it's in. You feel on the back side, it's all in there. They say that's the simplest. Try doing that with the tire in place, with the generator right here. And we're going to work. Alright, next step, SuperSpring. Right, this brake line is different than the other one was, but it still should stay out of the way. I'll just have to watch it once I put it in, what kind of spacing I get. So, I've already read the instructions, so I'll have them in case I need them, but I'm pretty much going to go right into installation once I zoom back. There we go. Sorry about the sun creeping up there. Can't do much about it. If I move you too close, there's not enough angle. Anyway. Okay, so I bring these straight. Bring them actually straight until you get them closer, like this. Just get them in place. And obviously you don't tighten the end bolts. It says right there, don't tighten. Okay. So, there is no front and back. There's no marking. Some models have a front and back. This version does not. So, we want to basically go under that brake liner right there. Your model will be different, possibly. And I got a propane tank also. So, that's why this is different. I got a 15-gallon propane tank right off to my side also. So out of the place that all these other vehicles that are these people build them themselves have, this is all stock. This all came this way from the manufacturer in Canada, from Pleasureway. So makes things a little more challenging. So you're gonna have to pull the tire off, otherwise you're just gonna battle everything under there. Okay, so now what it says, and if you watch one of the videos, which is funny because Superspring actually endorsed it, that video is wrong, unless their instructions are incorrect. Or they want you to take this, and it's in the instructions right here. If you look at the instructions, there's a notch. This is two-sided. So there's the short side, there's the notch side. The notch side, as you can see, and even states it in the instructions, goes on this side. Now, if you try doing that, there is no way. I tried calling Supersprings. No answer. It goes to voicemail. The voicemail box is full. So basically useless trying to get actual telephone support from them. I get it. They're busy. But it didn't give you the option to leave a voicemail. So it's like either have voicemail or don't have a voicemail system. And that's just, you know, good business practice. You know, I work for a large company also, and we have to have one or the other. Alrighty, so when you do this, as you notice, this way, oh, it's fine. But you have to put this together first. Once that metal bracket is in there, you can't slide this back. So, found out how to get it in there properly. What you do is before you put this in there, I'll show you. So, just don't want to mess up my calipers. So, this is designed to rest right here on my model. Your model may be different. So that notch goes right over here. So it's allowed to travel, sit over that rear clamping for the spring. Now, this is designed to go over it to keep this obviously positioned so it doesn't go crazy. So now when you put this on,
slide this in, notice, there's no way, because you can't slide this piece back. Here, it doesn't slide back. There's no way to get that bolt in. There's just no way. So if you watch this other guy that did the video, he put his in backwards and then put the bolt through. And Supersprings endorsed it because it's on their video. So, it's on their website actually, for installation. Their instructions say totally different. So, the trick around that is, if you notice, this gets shallower up here. So, this is what I figured out. If you slide this up here, you now have room to slide this piece out. So now, take your bolt, slide it far enough up so you can get that. It's pretty far up. Over, out. There we go. Now, once your bolt is in, and you slide it down, it's going to stay in that little catch. Really want to whack my head. So, there we go. So now, bolt is in there and won't come out. I'm assuming that is designed that way, so if the bolt were ever to loosen up, it's not going to fall out, causing this to physically slide out. So be aware of that. Just slide this whole piece way up here where it's thin, put your bolt in, then slide it back down. Then you got your spacer right there. I'm hoping that's all in the shot. Yes, it is. Okay, so now, and this is pretty close where the S was. Now, slide this back in. I'm knocking my camera over. Get around that. And right there. There we go. And you do put this bolt on. I should have. You're not tightening it, you're just putting it on. Alright, you will need a 6-inch C-clamp. You may be able to go smaller. I tried and got stuck and I had to leave the vehicle overnight. As well as, like I said earlier, I put the wrong style jack under there and damaged my seal on my jack because it wasn't heavy duty enough. So, spend the right money, get the right parts or tools. They don't have to be super high quality that you're going to use thousands of times, but at least so it's safe. Alright, so now I'm going to, you don't need to clamp anything yet. I'm just going to push this down with my hand and I'll get these 2 bolts in. Then I'll clamp this side and draw it in. And you should center it front to back. There is nothing on my vehicle model that it's going to hit by default. There's no brake lines, no this, no that. And as you see, this brake line is well out of the way, so that's going to be fine and adequate. So, let me start drawing it in. Put this somewhere. There's no metal under here. And let's see if that works. Okay. And also, you should have a torque wrench. I don't have a torque wrench. I know that 35 pounds, I think that's what the book says, is very minimal. However, to do it properly, you probably should have a torque wrench. I don't. Used to be a mechanic for years on heavy industrial machinery and whatnot, so I kind of got an idea. Not exact, but anyway. So I'm doing this improper without a torque wrench. I don't think I've seen one video of anybody using a torque wrench. You should. Okay, so first one, 2 holes down. That's just for preload, and that's why I figured, because the front one on mine is going to be harder to get to. The rear one, I got more space because I don't have to put the tank in my way if I do have to loosen it up one. In theory, I shouldn't have to pull the tire off. If I need to, I can get the C-clamp in here, clamp it, go from the other side, loosen the bolt, loosen it up, drop it one. We'll see. All right, here we go. this being a little more of a challenge. It's like, dude, I ain't going to fit in the front. Very easy. One will. Huh. Alrighty. Well, I may do one, clamp the back, and then draw the front so I can get into my second one. Because she ain't having none of that here. Okay. Well. Can I get that? Nope, I'm just a little too much off. Oh, I might be able to. A little bit of persuasion here. Let's see. No, I can kind of cheat. I go from this side and I'll use the other bolt to draw it from the other side. So I can't see that darn hole. Alright, so we'll do that. We'll just stick this other one from this side. Just do that. Cheater! That all works. Alright, so. Go. I'm going to measure this just to make sure. Nut patching. Oh my god. Tape measure's way up there. We're going to just check. Oh, double. And I know why they say that lighter torque, because they don't want you to compress it so much that this can't move, that it binds it. That's why they don't want you to over torque them, because they are nylon nuts. So. Okay, now comes the fun part. So, here is where I put my clamp on, draw it down. Fun times. Oh, maybe I could move you. Yeah, let's see. Here, yeah, over here. There you go. Feel better? Feel more like you're part of it? And you can see everything. Okay. So. I'm going to try the 4-inch. 6-inch I got is pretty pathetic. Nope. Some stupid quick clamp, that's all they had. Don't recommend it. So that's why once I get to a certain point, below 4 inches, I'm going to use the actual clamp that doesn't have this stupid quick release. At least I would recommend it. I like my hands and my fingers. Almost. Also, using two clamps isn't bad because one will kind of walk, as you can see this one's doing. So as one walks, you can get another one a little farther up and start drawing it down again. Like I said, I don't trust this little thing. I'm almost there. That's a piece of crap. Oh, we're so close. Doing is walking. All this stupid thing is doing is walking, so I'm trying to tighten it. There's nothing I can do about it. This thing's so cheap. Turd. And as soon as I put this clamp on, it draws down no problem. That bearing on there is with crapola. Anyway, good clamp will do you. So, don't get a cheap clamp. Make sure it's got enough so it can spin properly under here while it has load on it. If you don't know what that is, you'll find out when you try to clamp it like I did with that thing that I got at, I can't remember where I got it. Tractor Supply, that's all they had. Oh, I'm putting a lot of force right here in this little piece. I'd like to put it farther up, but I just don't have it. I need another 4-inch clamp, and then I could clamp it there, draw it in, probably easier. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. And I wouldn't be so close to this disc also to break. I'm almost there now. Like I said, this might be too much preload for me. I know when I go to take it for a drive, I probably won't know for a little while of actual driving. Unless the wife really complains it's just too stiff. But the highway's the biggest. Almost. And even though it looks like it's difficult, it's just plastic, and nothing's gonna hit. It clears easily. That's just for like a mud flap area, so we're all good. That's why I said later, if I need to, I can get on the back end of the vehicle. I got enough space under there to clamp this from that side, loosen it up, take it up one, and then do it there without pulling the tire off. The tire's just heavy. I'm just old. Just don't want to do it, but I have to. I think that should be enough. Let's try it. There we go. Probably have a 19 right here. There we go. I'm not locking it yet. I need to take this off first because I don't want to jiggle it a ton. Alright, so let's start taking this tension off. Alright, clamps off. I use this for woodworking. It doesn't matter. Alrighty, so that's tight, that's tight. let's find my other 19, and we'll put a little torque on it. There we go. Now, last step, don't forget to tighten this bolt. You ever get all your tools under you and you can't find anything? That's where I'm at right now. I know I got a 14 here. Right now, 15. I just need a midget to hold this one under here in place. Get a 15 because it's American. And this one I said to lock down. I'm fighting a little bit because this clamp wasn't perfectly straight on the second one that I had. A little off, so the bolt's kind of drawing. The holes weren't lined up on this clamp they sent me. It was a little off like this, so that's why it's drawing all automatically. That's okay. Not going to hurt anything. There we go. It's tight. Okay. So that's on. That's on. In order to the rear end, having this tire off is not really going to help me a lot. I think for putting the sway bar on. It's nice because I can see a lot, but I don't think it's going to help me drastically. But the sway bar looks super simple right now to replace, so I may just replace it right now. Take one bolt out there. Pull that line out first. Alright, so take a look at the sway bar in the meantime. Oh man. Alright, so that was kind of a hassle. The bolt is the same diameter as the hole, if not a little bigger. Oh, son of a gun, that bolt isn't even all the way in yet. Alright, nope, I gotta keep tightening. It's not all the way down. Alright, fun continues. Alright, so I found out why the bolt hole didn't go in. If you look in here, there we go. You see the urethane? They didn't push the urethane down, they didn't drill. When they tapped, they just tapped to the bare minimum. So you're fighting through the urethane. So make sure you go until the top of the bolt head is all the way down. Check it, otherwise it feels tight. I'd use a pair of pliers to hold it in.